This is Chimera Puzzle Island. It is sort of a sequel to Chimera Destroy All Monster Girls. It's more of a spin-off. In fact, this game kind of has a line that indicates it's not Chimera 2, where the first game was a 2D action platformer. This is more of a puzzle game, obviously. It's kind of like, some people refer to them as Picross games. They're also known as nonograms. But let's go ahead and take a look at the options here. Real quick, settings. So you got screen resolution options. You can go full screen if you want. If you go full screen, you are going to have these black bars on the sides. It is not exactly perfectly fit for a 1080p resolution. You have VSync, sound effects, volumes, auto clues, an auto ruler. I think that's like the grid. And this is like, it grays out numbers when you get them. Simple background off. If you find their backgrounds distracting, you can turn them off and have simple backgrounds, which would be turning those on. Cursor wrap, this is for controllers specifically. Cursor wrap, you can have it on or off. I do prefer it off. Some people like it on to go from the right side of the board to the left side of the board instantly. These are scroll delays and scroll rates. I did mess with these a little bit, although they're pretty close to what they were by default. Again, this is just for controllers. And then there's a timer, on or off. I do have it off for mosaic mode because you are not really, there's no point in having a specific time in there. I'll get to that later. Dialogue, text, colors, instant text, dialect sounds, and finally, in-game mouse cursor, this thing right here. Disable screen shake, random background music off for the story, and on for mosaic mode. And I'll show you why in a bit. So, other than that, you have actual controller controls you can change or mess with. And you got achievements. So, let's go ahead and get into the puzzles. There are 3 save files you can have. This up here indicates I have beaten the game, but I have not completed the game. I don't have 100% yet. So these right here over on the right are your main worlds, I guess, where you go in and you have your puzzles. And the game does a pretty good job of explaining how to play to those who are new to the game, like I was. This is the first Picross style game I've played. And as you go in, it tells you, in this column there is 0, and it's already done me the favor of marking these as X's. And then in here there's a 2 and a 2, which means there's 2 in a row and another 2 in a row. But I guess in this column. So there's definitely going to be 2 here and 2 here because this is also a 0. Now there does need to be a space in between. If there's 2 numbers, there has to be at least 1 space in between. There could be 2 or more spaces in between. But because this is 2, like, this does not count as 2 2s. This counts as a 4. There has to be a space in between. As you can see, it grays out the 2 up top when you have that done. And I'll do that here. So there's 3 in a row in this row here, and again here. And then there's a 3 in a row down here, and also a 1 in this. So the 1, I guess we could think that there could be in either one, but this 1 and 1 over here means that there has to be a space in between these 2 1s. And we know these are 0s and there's 0 here, so that means this 1 can only be right here. And so the image is supposed to be looking like a floppy disk. And it gives you different grades here. There's no item cleared, within a certain time limit clear, and then just clearing it. And as you can see, I've cleared this one in particular just 3 times. My fastest time is 9 seconds. I needed at least 45 seconds or quicker to get the gold clock on there. But as you can see, there's these 3 things here. And then, I guess real quick, something I would criticize about this game is that the images, most of the time, don't look like anything. Like, this is obviously a rice ball, a floppy disk. There's someone... No. That's a slice of pizza? This is the crust, and there's some pepperonis. That's kind of weird. That's Chelsea? Or is it Kelsia? Because Chimera is pronounced Chimera, not Chimera. But it's Chelsea, like it's a play off the name Chelsea. So I think it's Chelsea. instead of Kelsia, even though it sounds like Chimera. This is like a hamburger? I don't know what this is. Hex nut. No clue. This... Oh, wait, is this like, okay, this is like, yeah, hex nut. This is the top part that goes around. This is the... Okay, it's really weird. Weird head fin. I'm not seeing it. This is an apple core, I guess. That's like a boat. That's Amelia. But let's look at the next world. So, what is this? It's a stick. I don't see a stick in here. Maybe this right here, this thin part, but this green stuff around it is distracting. This is supposed to be a spider? It's very simple. Like, it's maybe this is the head and it's only got 4 arms. And that's pretty good. That actually looks like a turtle. No clue what this is supposed to be. That's obviously a well, so that's nice. But yeah, some of these, that's a nice thundercloud right there. Some of these don't look like anything. Some of them do look pretty good. Like that's like someone with a bug catching net. That's like a honeycomb. And that's obviously a tree with something on the ground. But obviously, the harder puzzles have better pictures. So yeah, you got different worlds here. There are cutscenes in between some of the levels, and here you can even view the cutscenes over again. So if you like want to rewatch them, you can come in here after you've seen them once. Also, the art style, it's mostly the same, but in this game, I don't think they did this in the first game. In this game, they act like they are 2D images in a 3D world, because if they ever turn around, they'll like flip, like Paper Mario style, like that. It just happened. And so yeah, you can skip if you want. But yeah, this game does take place story-wise after the first game. Although, you don't really need to play the first game to follow the story in this one. But there are just a bunch of cameos and references to the first game that you won't get otherwise. Here is a shop, which you get these cookies at the end of each level in the main game to spend at the shop here. These are extra pieces or colors to your markers if you want to change them up. And then these are little, these are like power-ups that you can use, items you can use mid-match to help you get through something. So like here, this clears a row for you. It'll give you all the marks. This will do a column. This will do like a 3x3 section. And this will let you know anywhere on the board which ones are right and which ones are wrong. But it'll only like stay for a few seconds. So you can't just like fill the whole board with wrong stuff and then hit that to find out where all the spots are to solve the puzzle for you. Because, I mean, you could if you like took a snapshot and then looked at that while you're filling it out. But even so, if you did that, you may not reach the time requirements for some of these. I don't know. I haven't tried to do it like that, so I don't know. But it is limited time viewing of what's right and what's wrong, so you have to like only get what you can from it. Here's where you can change your pieces to be whatever you want. You can change the colors or be someone's face even. I believe this is the default setup right here. You can change the X's to stuff. No, not as many options. And then I don't know what these are for. They're like a maybe third marker. I don't know. I don't really use those for anything. Here are some bios, so you can get like some background stuff on some of the characters. Movie viewer, settings, and controller settings. We already looked at those. So here, this is mosaic mode. This is the thing I have not completed yet. So this is basically a bunch of smaller puzzles that create a larger picture. So like the first one I solved, it colors in when you're done. These are all little individual puzzles that you do, and then it creates a bigger picture as a result. So what we're going to do for the remainder of this review is basically the review is over. This is a good game if you're into these kinds of puzzle games. This is the first one of these puzzle games that I've done, a first Picross style game. But for the rest of this video, let's go ahead and do one of these puzzles just so you can get an idea of what it's like if you don't know what these games are like. Let's go ahead and pick one of these. Let's do this one. And I do kind of switch, I have switched back and forth between using a controller or using a mouse during these. Let's go ahead and logic our way through the entire puzzle. So what you look for first, I guess, is the large numbers. So there's a 2 and a 10 here. So somewhere in here there's a 2, and then there's a space, and then there's, or there's multiple spaces, and there's 10. So the 10, the big number, is what we're really looking for. Because if it started at the very bottom here, if we counted up to 10 spaces, this is 10. These grid lines are also in 5 space sections. It's a 15x15 board. So this is the 10th one starting from the bottom. Now the top, there's going to be a 2 in here somewhere. So if we count, if the 2 started at the top, 1, 2, and then there's a space, there has to be a space between them. And then there's 10. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did I count that right? I kind of skipped over a little bit there. Let me do the 1, 2, space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so the 10 would stop here. Which means whether the 10 starts up here or it starts down here, it's going to fill in all these spaces in between no matter what. Regardless of where the 10 is, it's guaranteed to fill in these spaces. Now it's best if you can get that along an edge somewhere, because that'll give you a lot of stuff to work with. Because once you get one of the sides, you've basically got the number. If you know where it starts or where it ends, you've got the number. So let's go ahead and look at, let's see, down here we got a 9, so there's at least a 1 and a space. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's going to end here if it starts on that side. Now because there's the same thing on the other side, the 9 counting the other way is going to end up there. Now if we look at the top up here, there's a 6 at the bottom of this, so this is part of the 6. So if the 6 started here, it would go up to here. If this one has a 2 at the bottom, I mean, the 2 could be either of these spots filled. The 3 will fill at least these 2 spots, because this one we know, which means if it starts at the bottom, it'll fill this spot. Even if it starts right here, it'll fill this spot as well, and this spot. But this spot is filled either way, if that makes sense. Now, let's see, this one's a 5, which means it's going to extend up to here for sure. This is a 4, and then this is another 3, this is a 2 again. It could be either side. Now, here's a little trick that works in this game. I don't know if it works in all Picross games, but it does work in this game, where this, I'm gonna guess, if this is the 2, actually it has to be the 2. Because there's 4 in a row here, which means it has to be part of the 5. It can't fill this space, because then you would have like 7 in a row, which means this has to be blank. So that means this has to be the 2, and this has to be the 5 right here. So that means the 1 could be either of these spots, and the 1 could be anywhere over here. What else we have is, I'm going to guess this is the 2. Because there's 2 in a row here, and this has to be the 3, because 3 is on the right side of the 2. So this is the 2, and as you can see, it grayed out the 2 over here, because I got it filled. Now, if I were to say guess, maybe this is the 2 right here, it does not fill in the 2 over here. That is telling me that somewhere in my logic, there's no way the 2 is right here. Now that is a nice little hint system, but let's say if I were to guess this is the 2, it does fill in there. Now, does that mean that is the 2? Because if I fill in right here, it also goes away. So no, I don't know where the 2 is exactly, but I know for sure it's not here, because the game is telling me, hey, there's no way the 2 is there. If you knew what you were looking at here, you would know the 2 is not going to be there. So the game does give you some help in that respect. Let's see, so there's a 5 in here, if in this row. If the 1 was here, and there's a space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is the filled space, which means this has to be both of these have to be part of the 5. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill this in, and that is 5 spaces. So the 1 could be anywhere, the 2 could be anywhere. This is not going to be the 2 in this row. The reason I know that is because there has to be a 1 and a 3 that occur on the left side of it. And there's no space for that, which means this has to be part of the 3. So the 2 could be anywhere out here still. So that doesn't really help me eliminate anything. This has to be part of the 3 in this row, because there's not enough room to fit a 3 in here and a space before getting 1. So that means the 3 will extend as far as here, because if this is like that, that's the 3, but there's all this, if you click the middle mouse in, I don't know what those are good for though. I've never really used those. I don't know what, maybe expert Picross players could tell me what those are, what this unknown space is good for. I don't know what to use it for. Alright, let's go ahead and look at this row. There's an 8 and 2. So if we count 8 spaces out, it's going to end out here if it starts on the far left. But we don't know that, so we're only going to fill out to here. We're not going to add, like, we're not going to fill in these spaces. And, let's see, space 1, 2. Yeah, 2 could be anywhere in here. There's a 6 first thing here. 6 is the first number on this left side. 5 is the first thing over here. Now, curiously looking at this column, there's a 7 and a 6. So we got 5 right here in a row. We can't put this in because that's going to be like, what, 10 or something? Or 9, at least? There's no 9 in this column, which means this has to be blank. Which means this is the 6, and the 7 is right there, because we know this is the bottom of the 7, so the 7 adds up that. So looking at this top row, because we want to get an edge, we want to get one of the edges as soon as possible. So there's a 2 in here and then a 6. Now the 2 could be right here and then space, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or if the 2 was over here, let's see how far left we can get it. So if the 2 is over here, we can't fit the 6 in here as well, because there's a space here for sure. So if the 6 started right here, it would go to here. If the 6 started way over here, it would go up to here. And then there could be a 2 in here, or the 2 could be over here. But that is far left, it ends here, the 6. And if it's on the far right, then it ends here. So there's overlap there, so we know these spaces are going to be filled either way. Now this column starts with a 1 at the top, this column starts with a 4 at the top, so we get that for free. Now we have an edge here, because we have a blank and a fill-in. We know there's 1s and 2s in here, a lot of 2s, so this is definitely going to be a 2. If you fill it in, it tells us this is actually the second 2 from the right, which means there's only space here for the far right 2, so we get that for free. Now this, do we know if it's a 1 or a 2? If I fill it in, it doesn't tell me it's the 1, so it's probably the 2. Even though it could be a 1 and there could be a 2 over here, it's telling me it's not the 1. So this is the 2, which means these spaces are not filled, because the 2 is going to be filled here or here. I don't know, I can't eliminate any of these spots because the 1 could be anywhere. But because this column has 1s, that doesn't really tell me anything. Actually it does, because there's a 3 at the bottom of this. Now I can't fill in this space because that would give me 4 in a row. But, so that means this is blank. So that means this is the 3, this is a 1, and this is also a 1. The last one up here could be anywhere. But coming back down, we've got an edge right here. This is 3. And then coming back up here, this is another edge. This is 3. Here we don't really have an edge because there's a blank here. It could shift either way, but this is definitely part of the 3. Where else? Do we have any edges here? I'm not seeing. Oh, here we do. So this is a 2. There's that. Down here, this could be no, this has to be part of the 5, because if this was the 1, we wouldn't be able to fit 5 in here. There's only 4 spaces, so that means this is connected. This is both part of the 5. And if this is part of the 5, if it ended right here, we could fit a 2 in there, so we can't eliminate anything. Actually, let's see. If there was a 1, space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, we can't eliminate anything. Let's see. Let's keep. Now we could use an item if we really wanted to get through this fast. And in Mosaic mode, you don't get docked for using items. Where in the story mode, there's a separate clear quality for clearing every puzzle without an item. Like that's an achievement. So I didn't use any items in the story mode. We could use an item here, but I'm going to show you that it's possible to do without using any help like that. Oh, here's an edge right here. We've got an edge right here. So this is 6. That clears that out for us. This could be the 1 or the 6 right here in this column. Like this could be the 1 and this is the beginning of this. No, it couldn't be. If this was the 1 and this was the 6, there wouldn't be enough room for the 4. So that means this has to be part of the 6 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so yeah. We know this is part of the 6, so there's 5 of the 6 right there. This is definitely connected right here for the 8. Any edges? No. Oh, we got a 3 right here. We got 3 in a row right here for this column. This column has a 4. That's an edge right there, I should have noticed. There's 5 here. And then there's a 2. This is part of the 2, which means the 2 is not going to reach any of these spots. So since we have a 6 up here in this row, we now know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If the 6 started over here, it would extend to here at least. So we know these 5 spaces are filled no matter what, which means we now have an edge right here. This is 2. This is also 2. This is a 2, but we don't know for sure. Here's an edge that we just got. It's not going to be the 4. The 4 is not going to fit in here, which means it must be the 2. Which means there's nothing on the right side of the 2. Which means there's a 4 extending. If a 4 was as far right as possible, it would hit this spot no matter what. If there's a 1 space, 1, 2, 3, 4, we know the 4 is going to fill in these 3 spaces no matter what. If there are any questions on any part of these steps, let me know in the comments. I can explain how to play this game, but, you know, just keep following along the best you can. If you still have questions, you know, let me know. So there's a 1. Oh, this is definitely the 1 in this column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This cannot be part of the 5 up here. That's the 1. There's 5. There is a 4 in this row here, and it can only fit right here. It can't fit in here, and it's not going to be part of this because we need to fit a 1, a 3, and a 2 before we can hit the 4. But I believe this is part of the 3 because you're not going to be able to fit a 3 and a 1 here. In fact, this is the 1. This is the 3, which means this is the 2, 1, and then a 4. If you noticed, because I put this spot here, it took out, I have 1 and 3 grayed out up here. Once I put this in here, it tells me, whoa, you don't have your 1, 4, 3 because now you've got like 4 separate numbers. But that's because that's what it's thinking. But as soon as I fill this in, it stops freaking out. It realized, okay, I've only got 3 numbers, the 3, and the 1. I don't have the 4 filled out, but I have this edge here, so I know the 4 is going to end here. So that's all blacked out. The mouse is good for my instruction for you guys, I believe, but I did play the game mostly with a controller just because it was convenient to be able to not sit at the desk and play. And this works out pretty well. Oh yeah, I should note that if you fill in spaces like this, and then you want to fill in X's, if you just hold the button down and move across, it'll fill in all those spots for you. But does that make sense? So if I hold the button down, it'll fill in. But if I choose something else and hold the button down, it'll fill in only that. It won't override anything that I've already put down. So that's handy for filling in X's after you cleared out the rest of the row or column. So if you come back here, there's going to be a 3, a 2, and a 1 in this column. If this is the 2, it could be the 3, because we could have 1, 2, space 1. But if you have, if this is the 2, it could be the 2 or 3, I guess, logically. Oh, here we have a 5. That is our 5 right there. This is the 2, and then there's a 4. If the 4 comes out to here, the 2 actually, there has to be a space in between. So that means this is 2 and this is 4. There's no question about it. So there's a 3 in this column. It's not going to fit in this one spot. It will fit there. We've already got the 4, which means we only have the 3 to look at. And it's not going to extend to any of these spots. So we can black them out. This row has a 1 and a 3. This is not going to be the 2. There's not enough room for this to be the 2. This has to be the 3. Which means this is the 1. 2 is not going to fit in this one spot. 2 could be anywhere in here, so we're not going to do anything else. Just looking for stuff to look. Okay, so there's a 5 and 2. Oh yeah, we already discussed this. This could be the 5 and this could be... No, this cannot be the 2. This has to be the 5. There has to be a space in between, so that means this cannot be the 2 and the 5. This is just the 5. If this is the 10, counting up, it'll extend to here, and this has to be the 2. Because I can't go here because that'll put me at 11. So that means this has to be the 2, which means this has to be the 10 like this. A 2 and a 6, there's not going to be a 2 or a 6 in this spot. We got the 6 here, that's known. Coming down, we got this the 4. It'll extend to here for sure. Oh, this is a 2. This is also a 2. And this is a 2. 2 could fit anywhere in here. 2 could fit anywhere in here. 1 could be anywhere in here. The 1 is going to be below the 5, so we know these are all blacked out. Oh, we got a 6 right here. We got an edge right here, so the 6 is going to add up to there. 1 could fit anywhere in there. The 4 is going to fill in these spots, because if it starts at the bottom, it'll go up to here. If it starts at the top, it'll go down to here. Which means, if there's a 1 in here before the 9, it has to break right here, because we can't put the 1 here, because we already got 1 right here. That would be 2 in a row. So we know there's that 1, which means we have the edge of the 9 right there. Wait, am I counting right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So black that out. There we go. Which means the 1 could be anywhere over here. Oh, which leaves us only this 1 space for this 1 in this column. The 1 only fits here. And since there's another 1 right here, that means that is blacked out. There's a 1, there's a 1, there's a 1 here, but we don't know where. Actually, so there's a 3, 2, 1. Let's look at this again. It's not. This has to be the 2, which means this has to be the 1. And the 3 is going to be up here. Whether it starts at the top or the bottom, it's going to fill in these 2 spaces, which means this is the 1 right here in this row. And there's only room for the 2 right here, which means this 3 is fulfilled. And that's 1. There's a 1. There's a 2 in here somewhere. In fact, it's right there, which means this is filled. I mean, blanked out. This is the 1 for this one here. That means this is the 4. And we're getting pretty close here. This is a 4 right here. This column is done. This column, there's the 4 for that. There's a 2 and 1. And in fact, we only got 2 and 1 spaces that haven't been filled yet. So we got that row. Here's an edge. Perfect for us. That clears out that column. This column is completed, so we know there's nothing in here. There's a 2 edge right here. Again, here we go with another edge, and that gives us 2 more edges. In fact, that's done. This is a 2. We're just going to keep going off of this edge that we keep getting. That's another 2. This column is done. Whoops. There is a 1 somewhere in here. Oh, we got an edge here. Let's keep going off the edge. We're just about done. Here's the 2, and that's going to be 3. And the last spaces, these are all filled. These rows are all done. So that means we know the 2 is right there. And that picture purposely doesn't look like anything. It's not supposed to look like anything because it's part of a mosaic. It's going to be a bunch of little pictures that form a large picture. So that's the end of the video. Let me know if you have any questions about this game specifically, or I guess nonograms or Picross games in general. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.